this seems to be taking long. I'm here at the bank because I remembered I have $100 in this bank account where the ATM.
I don't think it's going to service charge by the end of the quarter, which is the end of this month. But I wanted you to know that.
Thank you. So they were taking a long time. We've been sitting here for way long. We've gone through this drive-through before for Derek and paid a bill, but now she's here to give me my money. She was saying something I thought she was saying. You too. Good night. Thank you. God bless you. She was saying she didn't think that the service charge would charge anything to my bank account until the end of this month, but I don't get service charges. And so, anyways, I thought she was telling me that she didn't think the process was gonna work and she couldn't give me my money. I'm so worried. This is serious shit. My kid don't play. But maybe, if even my conspiracy theorist friend is not scared, maybe I should not be scared either. Apparently, if you're healthy, which the ER just said I don't have cancer and my blood pressure is the problem and I got meds. Oh, I might need more meds. They said that, I don't have cancer, so I'm healthy apparently, and I believe so. And I got to figure out how to get some water supplies. And I really shouldn't. We got to worry about them locking down the city because people are infected. But okay, so there was just a case too that those 3,500 people on the cruise board, the cruise ship. We got to go to Safeway. The 3,500 people on the cruise ship. Okay, the 3,500 people on the cruise ship. One of those motherfuckers, and he's being released today, or she, whoever it is from Mojave County. That's where they live. And it's like, okay, so the government possibly is, or the government the government is doing this. And if this is really this intense where it's going to they're doing this intentionally for the New World Order, or the population control somehow, not really to take out population, but to be able to mark us all. Which we got into a real intense conversation about that before I left the house, because I was raised by some real hardcore fucking psychotic Pentecostals, and my grandfather and I were always straight up and toe to toe, like fucking, like just really heads on, like mentally always intact, together, connected, and real in touch intensely. And we would collaborate together and come up with predictions as to what's going on in certain situations that we could tell there was something going on behind the scenes, but we couldn't figure it out. And it all did, it would involve with like one of our relatives, for instance, my cousin Carmen one time. And we knew there was something going on behind the scenes. And so we sat down, my grandfather and I, we said a prayer before we did this, and we collaborated together, and we bounced thoughts off of each other and went by. See, that's how I know how to do this. I didn't realize that. And we went on, we judged, we made a decision as to what was going on based on what we were feeling. And we bounced thoughts off of each other back and forth multiple times. I mean, I've done this a lot of times with my grandpa, but this particular time was strong. And I was in my, maybe 22, maybe. And in 97, and my grandma had died. So anyways, we were bouncing ideas off of each other as to what was going on, because my cousin's in-laws are real intense too, and I love them nonetheless, but either way, they're real intense people. And so, when real intensity, when intensity exists within the entire family, there's a lot of collaborating that goes on without speaking, and it's more effective when you do speak with your voice box and you collaborate out loud. And so my grandfather was a lot more sophisticated than some people, and we collaborated together with our voice boxes, using the Lord in prayer and all of our other intuitive things that, for instance, all of our other intuitive abilities, for instance, that my cousin Carmen's in-laws were available readily. Probably not very much talking involved, but I'm sure they talked. I know they talked. Anyways, nonetheless, I'm very connected with them. Anyways, the case be that my grandfather and I figured it all out, and it was all the truth at the end, no matter what. I always do this, dude. And so I don't even know who's dude, because this is a YouTube video. Nonetheless, I always do this. I'm talking to myself, I think. And you at the same time, but mostly I think I'm talking to myself. Anyway, so I've always told my kids shit that I believed was straight up. Like my grandpa and I one time met minds, and he told me when we were talking about the Lord, because they were real intense in my belief constructions, and my relationship with the Lord. And so my grandpa told me that he knew the Lord was real and that God was real. He wasn't a Christian at first. He got saved after he met my grandma, and he really knew the Lord was real. My lips need attention. And that he knew he was going to see the second coming of Christ. And when we had that talk and other talks, I knew that that was the truth. My grandpa would always proclaim that to me, and I believed it. In the end, my grandpa died a few years ago when right after Ryder was born. My Ryder James is named after my grandfather's middle name, James, and I actually ended up calling my grandpa from the hospital when I had Ryder and talked to him about naming Ryder James. So my grandpa didn't die that long ago. His wife, his second wife, who's about the same age, is still alive and kicking, man. They were healthy individuals, but my grandpa suffered from leukemia throughout his life. And in the end, he ended up being OD'd on chemotherapy. That's a whole another situation and topic. But a lot of people that die from cancer are not dying from cancer. You hear people say crazy conspiracy shit like, oh, the chemo's killing them or the chemo never saves anybody. Yes, a lot of people are dying from cancer that's being treated by chemotherapy, but they're dying from being overdosed on chemotherapy. See, my grandpa didn't die from results of cancer except for the fact that he submitted himself to chemotherapy radiation too many times. If at all, he should have never done that at all. But either way, he submitted himself to too many doses of chemotherapy, and he actually was then overdosed on chemo, and that's why he died. And so if there were not outward forces in the world, my grandfather, I believe with my whole heart, would be alive. He was a very healthy man, walked every day, did a lot of things, very spunky guy. And everybody loved Jim. Hi, Jim. Oh, hey, look, it's Jim. Hey, Jim. Oh, hi, Jim. I mean, you'd hear that all fucking day long in the community, man. No joke. He wanted to be popular. And he was a good popular man and a good Christian man. Nonetheless, what was I saying? Oh, so I was talking with my kids, and so I brought that situation up because I had initially started saying how I was talking about how this is probably likely, if this is the case, because this is really looking like this is the case, but nobody's really paying attention. If this is the case, then they're doing this quite likely so that they can immunize us all, but they're immunizing us all so that, and they've started this virus. See, that's the thing, is they're doing this so they can immunize us all and mark us all. And when I was sitting there and processing this with my kids before I left right now, it recalled to memory the situation which I've told a lot of people about in my life, and I've always let my kids know. I mean, it's no joke. When I was a very young girl, from as far as I can remember, whenever we would go to Kingman, and my great-grandmother, my grandma Parker, and she died when I was 9, 10 maybe, no, 10, 9, I don't know. Anyways, right around the time my brother was born. Anyways, my brother was not born when she passed away, so like I was like 8, I think. Anyways, my great-grandma Parker and my grandmother, my mom's mom, my grandma Phoebe, and her mother, Grandma Parker, used to put me in this rattan chair, like the wicker chairs, and it has like the velvety cushion on the back and the top, and the sides are wicker, a red chair like that, and would corner me, man, and tell me, now Mandy, listen here, in the end times, I don't even think they called me Mandy really, I think they called me Amanda when they did that. And they would say, either way, they were real heavy Masons. Anyways, they would say shit like, in the end times, they're going to want to mark you with the mark of the beast, and the government's going to want to, or I think they would say the government, I don't know who they would say, but they would say I would be proposed with the choice to be either marked with a tattoo, and they said it would be 666, but I'm not sure that's what it is. Either way, it's still the mark. I would get this tattoo. I would be faced with the challenge of deciding as to whether or not I'm going to get this tattoo that I know 666 is the mark of the beast, but I get it in a different sense now. And that even if they want to kill me or rape me or anything like that in front of my children for refusing to take the mark, that I should let them do it. I mean, this happened a lot, dude. I don't even know, like till I was 10 years old maybe for a minute. My mom stopped talking to my grandma, and then intense conversations occurred again. But I was drilled like this multiple times throughout the year. And again, I don't know who dude is. I was drilled like this multiple times throughout the year. I think I'm talking to Derek, who's sitting here. I don't really know. We're very disconnected at the moment. Anyways, I would be in a corner, like in an area. It's not really a corner. It's like where the phone usually sits as a grown-up. It would be right there, but she didn't have that same china cabinet. Anyways, they would corner me like in that area in the same house that I grew up in my whole life with my grandparents. And my grandmothers would be telling me, in the end, they're going to want to, even it's going to be your choice to decide whether or not your children get marked with the beast, and with the beast number, with the 666 number. And if you have to choose about that, and if they're gonna rape and mutilate and kill your kids in front of you and poke out their eyeballs and cut their ears open, I mean, they would just say the craziest things. I don't even know what it was, dude, but I know that they would definitely say if they kill you or your kids in front of you or in front of them, or rape, they would say rape. They would definitely say gouge out your eyeballs or poke out your eyeballs. That I should let them do that. If I have to watch them basically mutilate, torment, torture, and rape my children in front of me, I have to let them do that. And you know, I've told the stories lots of times when I get high or I'm really spun out or something. And I've always said, like, you better believe that if they were doing that shit, I would sure the fuck let them rape, mutilate, and fucking gouge out eyeballs of myself and my kids in front of us. I would certainly allow that to happen because after all, I've been programmed in. Even if they were crazy, you know, whatever, I've been programmed because if it was true, at least I'm covered. No, I won't fuck up. No. Now I'm like, God damn, is this true? So I'm talking about the tattoo, the invisible tattoo that I've been heard about. The invisible tattoo that they're going to give us for the immunization of this to prove we're immunized. Because we're thinking now that they might seal up houses. And they're sealing up houses throughout other countries right now. So I start talking about how, oh my God, if they're going to tattoo us, wouldn't that be the mark of the beast? Oh my God, isn't that what my grandparents told me about? Oh my God, Aaron, you remember? I mean, we've talked about this so many times, I don't even got to explain it, but I'm explaining it to Aaron's girlfriend, Cheyenne. And then it leads into how my grandpa said he was going to see the second coming of Christ and how he would actually still be here right now if he had not OD'd on chemo. And so then when the mark of the beast comes, isn't that the sign of the times when Jesus Christ is coming back? This is way intense. Walmart's out of toilet paper and ramen. I'm at Safeway. I've taken too long. I don't know what's going on with the banks, and I got to go buy some shit. Okay, this is my documentary. That's what it is. This is my documentary of the coronavirus and the conspiracy from the government. I'm just keeping updates. See ya. Hope we don't run out of shit. This is fucked.